I'll tell you when. Okay, so today this is homework from 2 and 3, the word problems. So basically I want to work on the translating with you, and then you're going to finish up the problems at home. Your homework for tonight is 365, number 22 through 27, and 371, 31 through 36. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to identify our unknowns. And it says the sum of two numbers is 115. So, what are we looking for? Elisa? The two numbers. So, I'm going to identify my unknowns. Yes? Well, first I always want to identify. So, I'm going to call the first unknown. I'm going to call it X. X is one of my numbers, and the other number is Y. Now, if you want, you can identify one's going to be a smaller number and one's going to be bigger. What do you want to call the smaller number? Want to call it X? Sure. And Y is our bigger number? Let's do it the other way around. I think that's how I did it last period. I made X our bigger number. And actually, you really don't need to identify bigger or smaller, but later on when we get some negative problems, you're going to need that. Okay? Okay, so you don't really need to necessarily say it, but it'll make a little bit of sense. So, how would I translate just this part? The sum of two numbers is 115. Claire?
X plus Y equals 115.
Perfect. First equation, X plus Y equals 115. Now, the second equation, Javon. 21 equals X minus Y. Can we write X minus Y? So, because this is positive, which number goes first? The bigger number, which would be X minus Y, just like he said, equals 21. Do you understand why I differentiated between bigger and smaller? Okay, now I've got myself two equations, and what we can do is solve it in two different ways. How do you guys want to solve this one? Ryan? Elimination. It's set up nicely, so we may as well. And what can we eliminate? Let's go, Jeremy? The Y's. And so what am I left with, Jeremy?
You're left with X, 2X equals 136.
Okay, and I divide both sides by 2, and we get X equals 68. Am I done here? Okay, so what am I going to do with that next? Yes.
Subtract. You plug it in.
Substitute in.
Yeah. So
if I have X minus Y equals 21, I'm going to substitute it in for, actually I'm going to go with the other equation. X plus Y. I get myself in trouble with negatives. That's why as soon as I saw I had to start adding and subtracting negatives. So 68 plus Y equals 115. Subtract 68. And Y is equal to 15 minus 8 is 7. 10 minus 6 is 4. Is that right? And so, find the numbers. The numbers are 47 and 68. Is that wrong? Huh? It doesn't matter. Why? Why does this not matter? Why does it matter in this case that X doesn't go first? Yes. It's not an ordered pair. It's a word problem. It's application. So in this case, it doesn't matter. You don't have to you shouldn't put it in an ordered pair. Because if you put it in an ordered pair, that tells me you think this is an ordered pair. And it's not. It's two numbers we're looking for. Algebra is about solving the puzzle. Solving for the unknowns. And so I'm looking for two unknowns given a little bit of information, like a detective. Okay, questions? Yes.
How would you know you're supposed to use two equations? Like
Well,
for the beginning part.
I'm seeing one is here. That's the end of a statement. The sum of two numbers is 115. The next one is the difference is, 21. That's a full sentence. It's a full statement. It's going to be an equation. Now, you might not know it now, but after you go home and do all the homework, once you're in the habit of that, when you see those problems again, you'll recognize this, right? Well, you know tonight you're going to end up with two equations, right? Because we're solving systems.
I was just thinking that it would be like x plus 21 or minus 21 plus y or something. I don't know.
No. The period, look, here we go. Let me go back and let's just look at this. Here's the first one. The sum that of two numbers, it's talking about that, is my equal sign. 1, 1, 5. So the sum of two numbers, x plus y. Okay, here it says the difference is, there's my equal sign. So the difference means it's x minus y of two numbers. But that is implies equals. Yes, Nicole? No, it wouldn't have mattered. Because again, we're finding two numbers. The only time you're going to need the x first is if your answer is positive, that means the bigger number goes first. So it depends on how you name them in the beginning. Here we named x the bigger number. For the answer to be of a difference problem to be positive, the bigger number has to be written first. If it were a negative number, I'd write the smaller number first in that difference sentence. In this sentence, it doesn't matter what you write, first or second. It's this sentence, right here. It's this one right here that you're really going to have to make a judgment on. But it's not going to affect you. You'll see. These are going to go very quickly. They're easy to solve. All right, I'm pausing it. Let's go on to the... Okay, the sum of two numbers is 26 and 4/10. One is 5 times the other. Find the numbers. What are we doing? I see one sentence, Jessica, and it ends here at that period.
Plus y equals 26.4.
Good. So we're going to have two numbers. X is a number. A big number. You want to make it big and small again?
Wait, does it matter? Do we have to write that?
Doesn't matter. I want you in the habit of always identifying your unknowns. Because you're gonna need that on your Common Core, and you're gonna need that. The more difficult the problems get, you're gonna need that. Y equals the smaller number. Okay, so she said the sum of the two numbers. Here's the first one: x plus y equals 26 and 4/10. Next sentence: one is 5 times the other. That's like one number is 5 times the other number. Levi?
Would it be x equals 5y?
Yeah. X is the bigger number, so it's going to equal 5 times y. Now, what do you think is the best method here for solving? Ari? Yeah, because it's already in single, it's already got a single variable alone, so I'm going to substitute for x, I'm going to substitute in the y. And then it's going to be 5y plus y equals 26 and 4/10. And we get, are you guys good with that? Can I leave you to solve this later? Can we finish this later and move on to translating another? Okay, finish this one up. What part do you not get, Daniel? It's substitution. We're substituting for the x. Does that make sense, Daniel? All right, so when you finish solving, your solutions should have been 22 and 4 4/10. We're helping all those kids, so maybe when you're on your... All right, the sum of the length and width of a rectangle is 19 inches. So, again, because this time they're talking about rectangles, perimeter, what are my unknowns going to be? I'm going to call them W and L because it will help me with my story. This is a story problem. So we're talking about, let's call L. It is. So the question tonight was, do you have to write down the problems? No, but you must identify your unknowns. L is going to stand for length. And W stands for width. Okay? So, the sum of the length and width of a rectangle is 19 inches. How do we translate that? Somebody I haven't heard from. Chris.
L plus W equals 19.
Perfect. And then it says the length is 1 less than twice the y. Twice the width. Elisa?
Is it L equals 2W minus 1?
Good. Perfect. And then we're going to, this is a number 1. You can substitute. Do you understand? I want to move on to how do we translate the next, okay? You're going to be doing the solving tonight. Are you guys good with this? Okay. You should be writing these, not just staring. The perimeter of the rectangle. Let's go with Ari. Okay, sure. What are my unknowns and what information are they giving me?
The unknowns are the length. Oh no.
Good.
Yeah, the length
And the
and the width.
good. So I'm going to call it length and width. All right. So next, they're also giving me a couple pieces of information there that are clues. The first one is the perimeter of a rectangle is 48. So I'm going to write that. P equals 48. There's another piece of information there because that's your equation right there. That's your equation. What's the equation there? Elisa.
So do I type the equation?
Yeah, stop. What's the equation? 2L plus 2W equals P or 48. It's the perimeter formula. Christy. Okay? And what's the other equation? Width of rectangle is. Width is. W equals 2 more than half the length. 1/2 L or L over 2. L over 2. And it says is 2 more plus 2. Could I have done 1/2 L? So do you understand? And then we use substitution. All right, this is number 35. Okay, I'm recording everybody. Okay, so what would we identify as our unknown? Monet.
Your unknown is angles A and angle B.
Right, we have 2 angles. Angle 1 and angle 2 are my 2 unknowns. And so I'm going to call angle 1 A and angle 2, we'll call it B. Okay, so what is the equation here? Give me an equation here out of the writing. Brandon?
Angle 1 plus angle 2 equals 90 degrees.
How did you know that angle A plus angle B equals 90 degrees? How did you know that?
Because a complementary angle
As
is an angle that adds, when you add it to the other angle.
As soon as they said that, that gives me the equation. Angle 1 and angle 2. This chunk plus this chunk equals 90 degrees. Okay, what's the second equation? What's the second equation? How about Evan?
I think it'd be A plus B minus 34.
Angle A, it says their difference is 34 degrees. Angle A,
Plus angle B
what does difference mean?
subtract
Subtract. Angle A,
minus B
angle B equals
34.
34 degrees. And there's our two equations.
Oh,
Okay, so now I've got angle A plus angle, minus angle B is equal to 34. Can I eliminate here? Can we eliminate, Mary? What? Shh. What am I eliminating? Angle B. There we go. And so I get 2A equals 124. Divide by 2. And A equals 62. Okay, so one angle. Now what am I doing? Olin, are you with me? Okay. Evan, what am I doing next?
I think you do 90 minus 62.
How about use either original equation? Which one do you want to use?
Use angle A plus angle B because there's no negative.
Good. And then I do angle A is 62 plus B equals 90. Subtract 62. And B equals, what is that? 90 minus 62 is 28. So, what is my final answer here? Jonah,
62 and 28.
are the angles are the two complementary angles. Good. 62 degrees, and 62 degrees. And that's our homework for tonight. The rest should be pretty easy. And 28 degrees are the complementary angles.
So we still do.
Record that for my first period. Okay, so you remember you've got to name these.